I don't know if maybe the publisher infused iron or lead into the ink they printed this book on. Good morning, everyone. Let's try this coffee together. Yeah, confirmed. One of the worst cups of coffee I've ever made. I could feel it in my bones this morning. I was like, this is not gonna be a good one. But hey, I need the caffeine. What can I say? I've become dependent. So I'm gonna drink this throughout the video. And what video is it? A book haul. Yes, my friends, but not just a book haul. No, of course, there's always a twist. It's always also gonna be a puzzle haul. I recently finished a really fun puzzle that I loved, and then I went and bought a similar puzzle to the first one, and so I'm going to talk about the puzzles, and then we're going to talk about some books that I've recently purchased, and I'm just really excited. I love book hauls. I love watching them. I love making them, and a lot of them are just going to be a lot of me saying, I'm really excited about this one. I swear. That is like one of my key phrases. I cannot stop saying that exact phrase, and whenever I film a book haul, that is all that comes out of my stupid mouth. So I'm gonna try to use other adjectives aside from excited. Is excited a verb? Because you get excited, right? Excited is not a descriptor, it is an action. Sound off in the comments to let me know if you agree. Anyway, let's start with puzzles, my friends. I mean, that's where we're at. I love puzzles. I love them. I've been doing them with my family for years and years and years. Then at the height of the pandemic, I said, okay, I guess this is a solo activity. Took a little bit of a break, just was feeling a little puzzled. And I'm recently back on my bullshit, very, very excited about puzzles again. Anyway, the first puzzle I'm here to sell you all on is The World of Dracula. I got this at Barnes & Noble. I did this all on my own, and it was one of the hardest puzzles I've ever done on my own. I usually stick to like collage-based puzzles. They're a lot easier, and it's like doing a bunch of mini puzzles in a single puzzle. So I don't usually do puzzles that are like one-shot scenes. But this one was, and it was a doozy, my friends. There is so much blue in this puzzle, and so many varying blues. The water is different, the sky has different blues, the clouds are different blues, and then we've got like a million of the same characters, just in slightly different poses. So it's a tough one, but it was so fun to do, and I was listening to The Roughest Draft when I was doing this puzzle, so I oddly, like whenever I think of me reading The Roughest Draft, I'm always like, isn't that romance kind of a gothic novel somehow? When really it's just because I was finding little Dracula all over the place. So anyway, this one was so fun. I also did the Jane Austen version of this puzzle. There's like a World of Jane Austen, but I did it with my family, so it went a lot shorter than when I did this one on my own. Super fun though. So I went out back to Barnes & Noble, and the only one they had that wasn't Dracula or Jane Austen was The World of Charles Dickens. Admittedly, most of this will be lost on me because I've only read 2 of his books and absolutely hated one of them, Bleak House. But I did really like Great Expectations, so any mention of Great Expectations, I will understand. This one looks even more intense than Dracula because at least Dracula was a single building. This one is a bunch of neighborhoods and just one strip of blue. So, and a lot of the houses are tan and gray. So it's gonna be hard, right? But I'm interested in a challenge, and usually puzzles is when I do my most audiobook listening. So anyway, those are 2 puzzles I picked up recently that I've really been enjoying. Let's try awful coffee again. Still sucks, but my hands are shaking. So can you tell? I think you can. So even if I don't like it, the coffee is definitely working. Great. Next, this is a book I've already finished, but I did recently buy it, and it was just so good I thought I would mention it here, and that is Dear America. I read this at the end of July, so I did talk about it in my July wrap-up, but I also purchased it last week, so I thought I would just give it a huge shout out. This was such a good memoir. So good. The first half is really emotional. I mean, the whole thing is emotional, but the first half is really about personal experience and the emotions of the author, and the second half focuses more on the politics of citizenship in the United States and how hard it is to get citizenship, and how once you're kind of caught in that loop, it's so hard to break out of that loop because citizenship is often an impossible labyrinth of hoops to jump through. So it was incredibly good. The writing was really fantastic, and I especially loved it because the author is a journalist. So he was able to blend real emotion into also intriguing, factual reporting, you know. So I thought that it had a lot of heart, but it also really got to the numbers and the information. So it was a great memoir, highly recommend, and did just pick it up. So had to mention it. All right, next up, this is a book that I had never really heard of ever. And then I went to my local used bookstore and saw it on the shelf, read the synopsis, and was like, sure, I'll take you home. You're like $9.50. And then I went home and maybe 3 days later checked Libro FM, and this was one of the featured books. So I'm not sure if there's like a film adaptation coming up or if it's the anniversary of the book coming up. But that is A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. And the little one-sentence description says, the beloved American classic about a young girl's coming of age at the turn of the 20th century. I love a book based in New York. I've been to New York twice in my life, and we're there for such short amounts of time. I feel like I've never really gotten the New York experience. The NYC experience is the word I'm gonna go with again. But I've always been fascinated with New York and how it's like its own universe. So I saw it. I'm also always intrigued by a coming of age story. Love a woman finding herself, trying to figure out who she is, trying to figure out what she wants to do in this world. So I'm not gonna say excited. I am intrigued by this one, and I hope to get to it soon. Also, something you might notice is that this is a bit of a big bitch of a book. And my plan is to incorporate longer reads in the second half of 2022 because I try to read so many books a month and it's becoming a problem. I'm trying to speed read through every single book I pick up, and when they're short, I'm even more motivated to speed read them because they're short, and I need to slow down. I need to slow down because I'm starting to really stress myself out. I've mentioned this in a previous video before, so like it's something I'm trying to work on, and I thought if I incorporated bigger books in my monthly reading, then I'd actually be forced to slow down because they're longer books, so that's that. All right, next up we have Fish Swimming in Dappled Sunlight. Holy shit, this one sounds fantastic. Basically, it's between a couple, and it takes place all over one single night, and it's the final night of this couple being together because they know their relationship is over. How do they know this, you ask? Well, in the past, I don't know how recent it was, but they go on a hike, they go climb a mountain, and their guide dies inexplicably. And so this couple believes the other one is guilty of murder. Hi, I'm intrigued and I'm interested. And here's the thing that I think is going to be really sensational about this book. We're going to have two main characters that are against each other, and they're going to be presenting the reader with very convincing evidence against the other character. And so I can totally imagine I'm going to believe one of the characters more than the other, and then the other character is going to convince me that the first character is actually guilty, and there's going to be a lot of back and forth as a reader, and I think it's going to be so fun. All right, next up, we've got a book with a pretty fun cover, and if you've read this book, please let me know what you thought, because I am very interested in this one, and that is A Lady's Guide to Fortune Hunting. Okay, first off, the main character's name is Kitty. Not a fan. Not a fan of that. So I was like reading the synopsis, and I was like, it could have been almost any other name, but Kitty is just, it's hard. You know, it's a hard one to get through. But aside from that, we have a main character named Kitty who is very aware that her family is about to go into ruin if she doesn't marry a rich man. So she is going around London society trying to find a match. Matchmaker, make me a match. There's more to this song that I don't know. But she is in society, and then this guy named Radcliffe. How many Radcliffes have I read in my life? I don't know. But Radcliffe catches her doing this and is like, I know what you're up to, and I know what you're doing. And she's like, and so what? Like, this is my fate. This is what I have to do. And I think they have a connection, and so I don't know if Radcliffe is rich. That would be really, really convenient for the novel if he was. But I am very, very interested by this one, even though I don't love the main characters' names. So there we go. Also, let me just say real quick, if your name is Kitty, I'm hoping that I didn't just hurt your feelings. It's really just because of the sister in Pride and Prejudice that I have a prejudice against the name Kitty. That's what it is. That's all it is. But if your name is Kitty, I'm sure you're lovely. And that's what I have to say. All right, next up, let me just say a huge thank you to Kristen from Leo PR and also Montlake, the publisher, for sending me Can't Resist Her. Holy shit, this romance looks so good. And why do I say that? Because it's a romance with history. It's a romance where two people are coming together from the past. They had a moment and they never really acted on it, and now is their chance. It says, after years away from home, Summer Graves is back in Austin, Texas to accept a new teaching position. Of all the changes to the old neighborhood, the most dispiriting one is the slated demolition of the high school her grandmother founded. There's no way she can let developers destroy her memories and her family legacy, but the challenge stirs memories of another kind. On the architectural team revitalizing the neighborhood, hometown girl Aiko Holt is all about progress. Then she sees Summer again. Some things never change. Neither can forget the kiss they shared at their senior year dance. Neither can back down from her unwavering beliefs about what's right for the neighborhood. For now, the only thing Summer and Aiko are willing to give into is a heat that still burns. But can two women with so much passion for what once was and what could be agree to disagree long enough to fall in love? I will have to see. So thank you again so much to Kristen for sending me this book. I am so excited about it. And again, I just love like a, hey, we missed our chance in the past, let's try again. So I am really happy to get to this one. Excited and really happy. They are basically the same words, but just slightly different. All right, this next book, I'm not sure if I've talked about. I've had it for a little while, but I can't remember which video I would have talked about it in. And it just sounds sensational, so I'm going to talk about it again if I've already talked about it before, or this is the first time. In any case, the book is Cold Enough for Snow, and it is also the shortest book of my life. It is so short, but from the synopsis, it sounds like it should be 600 pages for how much depth is going to be explored. So this all takes place in Tokyo, and it's between a mother and daughter. They're exploring Tokyo together, and through that, they have a lot of conversations. So at the very end of the synopsis, it says, at once a careful reckoning and an elegy, Cold Enough for Snow questions whether any of us speak a common language, which dimensions can contain love, and what claim we have to truly know another's inner world. Friends, listen, I love family stories, but I especially love sibling stories. And this one is a mother-daughter story. But one of the reasons why I love sibling stories is because the siblings show you altering perspective around the same family. And what I think this book might do, and this is my hope at least, is that although the mother and daughter may be really close, their inner thoughts and inner worlds and inner understandings of their relationship and their families and the world around them are very different because they're unique to the individual. With all that being said, I think it's going to be so good, but I'm nervous because the synopsis is so good, and for such a short book, I just hope it's able to hit all of those emotional points. I am so excited about it, and I kind of wish it was like quadruple in length so we could really explore these things. But maybe I read it and I just go, you know what? The author knew what they were doing and did it just right. So I'll report back, but I am really interested in this one. Thinking of words for excited is just getting harder and harder. Anyway, the next book is This Time Tomorrow. I think this one sounds so good because it kind of reminds me of like 17 again or 13 going on 30. Basically, the night before the main character's 40th birthday, she has everything she wants. She's like totally in love. She loves her job. She loves where she lives. But the thing that she's not satisfied with is her relationship with her dad. He is ailing, and she just knows that they don't have a lot of time left, and she wonders why they're not as close as they used to be and like where things went off track. But instead of waking up on her 40th birthday, the next day she wakes up on her 16th birthday, and she's kind of given this second chance to like relive these memories with her dad and get their relationship back on track. That's at least what I'm getting from the synopsis, but my audiobook hold for this just came through on the library, so I am so excited to read this month, mark my words, and I just think it's going to be really, really good, and the cover is so fun. I love that it's only holographic in small sections, but yeah, this one's going to be great. I can just feel it in my bones. All right, next up, again, I'm telling you, bigger books are the move for the second half of 2022. Try to make that rhyme, not sure it hit, but the next book I picked up is Kaikeyi. I am so excited for this one. The synopsis sounds amazing, and it's really, at least from what I'm getting, it's a kind of mythical retelling, which are some of my favorite books. Let me just read you a little bit of the synopsis, because I really liked the whole thing sounds good, but desperate for independence, she turns the text she once read with her mother and discovers a magic that is hers alone. With it, Kaikeyi transforms herself from an overlooked princess into a warrior, diplomat, and most favored queen. Holy shit. It sounds adventurous. It sounds all-consuming. Like, I know that it's a long book, but I feel like once I start it, I'm not going to want to put it down, and that's exactly what I need for this one. So, it's just going to be such an adventure, and I can't wait for it. All right, next up, we have a book that came out a couple years ago. I haven't really heard anyone talk about it, so if you've read it, please let me know what you thought. But it is The Big Door Prize, and first of all, the cover's amazing. It's kind of like The Sims meets Animal Crossing, and I just love it. But basically, this is about a small town that has an annual, like, fair, like little town fair, where everyone gets together, barbecues, listens to music, plays some carnival games, and just like has a grand old time. And this year, there is a photo booth that when you get your picture taken at this photo booth, it shows you who you were destined to be. So if you go in there and you're a firefighter, the picture will tell you, actually, you were destined to be an actor. Or you go in there and you're like, okay, I work at the bank. It might say, actually, you were destined to be a horseback rider or something like that, where it just reveals to you what you should have done with your life or what you could have done with your life. And so everyone in this town starts quitting their jobs to go pursue the life that the photo booth says they were destined to have. And so I don't know what's going to happen after that. That's like the extent of the synopsis that I have grasped. But I'm really intrigued to see, because I think that we all kind of do that. We're like, everyone's told, like, you can be whatever you want when you grow up. And then you grow up and you're like, was I supposed to be an actor? Was I supposed to be an astronaut? Was I supposed to be a captain of a ship? You know what I mean? Like, you just think, like, what else could I have done? Like, what other path could I have gone down? And I think this book is going to explore maybe the risks of following your dreams, and that even if destiny said you could have been something else, perhaps the life you made for yourself was what it was meant to be. I haven't even read it, and that was an amazing review. So we're gonna see if it turns out well. But again, the cover's awesome, and I think this one is going to be intriguing, to say the least. All right, next up we have maybe the heaviest memoir I've ever held in my hands. I don't know if maybe the publisher infused iron or lead into the ink they printed this book on, but Selma Blair's Mean Baby feels like luxury. This feels like an expensive book, and that's because it was. I didn't realize that this book was $30 until right now when I picked it up, and I thought, oh, in any case, I think it's going to be worth it because I've only heard really good things about this book, and I also love the inner covers. Let me show you. I mean, just look at that, right? I love photo strips. I love handwritten notes. This looks personal, and it looks like it's going to be a memoir that's like, let's really talk about some shit. Let's really explore things. So despite the price tag, I think it's going to be worth it. I would love to read this in August, but we'll see, because I just finished Jeanette McCurdy's memoir. So that was my memoir of the month. So we'll see if I get to this one this month. If not, I'll finish it before the end of the year. But I have heard some really fantastic things, and I can't wait for it. See, I didn't say excited. I just said I was excited for it. Wait. I didn't say excited. I said I couldn't wait for it. Next up, we have maybe the prettiest cover of 2022. This cover and Woman Eating kind of rival favorite covers for me so far this year, but that is Briefly a Delicious Life. Holy shit, this book sounds good. I mean, the blurb on the front is what really caught my attention. I mean, the cover caught my attention, but it says, a gorgeous, wildly seductive novel, shimmering with intelligence, humor, and joy. When you put shimmering in a block quote, I'm picking it up. Shimmering is one of the best words on this planet. I don't know why, but I love that word so much. But Briefly, comma, a delicious life, and then a cover like this, and then shimmering. I was shimmering sold right when I saw it, but the little like top quote in this synopsis says, when I was alive, I lived in a time of beautiful men. After I died, I found myself in a time of beautiful women. Since her untimely death hundreds of years earlier, and in all that time she's never seen anyone like George, this striking woman in a man's clothing. The other villagers, however, are more alarmed than enchanted, and they soon become suspicious of George's dress, of the couple's foreignness, of Chopin's, don't judge me, I'm going to say Chopin's persistent and alarming cough, and of what exactly they're doing here. Briefly, A Delicious Life is a story about the eternal mystery of falling in love, even when it cannot be reciprocated, and coming of age, even in death. Is this a ghost story? I don't know. Is this supernatural? Probably, because the main character seems to have died hundreds of years before the story is actually taking place. But is it a vampire? Because we have delicious on the cover. Is it a ghost story? I don't know. I really don't know. And I'm really, really thrilled. I already used thrilled. I'm really enchanted by it. Oh my God. Great word. Enchanted. Really enchanted by it. Again, one of my favorite covers of the year so far. And I'm going to get to it very soon. So there it is, my friends. Please let me know if you've purchased any books recently, or if you've picked up any books from the library that you're really excited about, because I love book shopping. It soothes the heart, it soothes the mind, and that's what I need right now. So anyway, love you all. Hope you liked this video, hope you had fun, and hope to see you in the next one. Bye!